Warners did not believe at all in the picture. Now this was after the funny Batman with Adam West, who was around, I think, and the first thing I remember saying is, it cannot be funny or camp. It's got to be real. I mean, we got to believe in what's happening and laugh with them and not at them, which is a very big difference. Because when you laugh at them, it's not good.
Do you have any Christmas stories that are special to you?
Well, I mean, the first, obviously, he bulked literally 100 pounds for the part. I mean, when we first met him in New York with Donner, he was 6'4", a very tall guy and all that, but he was, I don't know, 108 pounds or something like that. Very, 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 very skinny. And that was one of the main things that kept putting it back, because the first battle was not to take a star to play Superman, because all the backers of my father and the bankers wanted a star, because we gotta have a star play the main part. I always instinctively felt that it should be an unknown, and we did test Bruce Jenner with Guy Hamilton in Rome, and Bruce Jenner was then the Kaplan winner, American world decathlon champ, and looked very good, and was tested in Rome, and he was actually pretty good. The only problem is he looked very young. He came out like 23, 24, and I don't know, in everybody's vision of Superman, it's 29, 30, 31. I mean, it's depending on the comics, but I mean, he's not 20. He's definitely a 30-year-old, perhaps even a little more. And that was the problem with Jenner. So that's when, after the star thing kept pushing, and we approached a lot of actors, and a lot of actors wanted to do it, and Sylvester Stallone wanted to do it. And this was after Rocky that hadn't opened, but I had seen the film on private screening and said, wow, it's going to be great. But I don't know if it works, but okay, I'm real flawed, But the problem was that, again, was a little bit difficult to imagine there. And then we approached people like James Caan, Burt Reynolds, all the actors that kind of looked more the part, but were still very famous. And I was doing that reluctantly, but I had my marching orders and from the financiers, which is, we need a star. And the saving grace was that after meeting a lot of actors, like John Boyd, for example, who was very hot after Midnight Cowboy. We even met Neil Diamond. Don't ask me why.
Stallone and Diamond.
Yeah, that would have been a good combination of them.
That's right, you're good and bad.
And Stallone and Diamond, it's a good time. But
I think we're making something right now, aren't we?
Yeah. But the fact is that it was really, I knew in my heart of hearts that it had to be an unknown, because seeing a guy that flying around, admitting the flying could have been perfected already, was very, didn't seem right. And it wasn't the first idea. It was always an unknown, as I said, Jenner, and then, forced by the circumstances and the commercial pressures, to say the least, we had to, approach all these stars, and the saving grace was really Robert Bedford, who got the script and read it, and that was the Mario Puzo script, the first 500-page script, big script, and he said, he wrote me a very nice letter saying, thank you very much, it's very nice, but I don't think people would believe me flying around New York, And he was right, thank God. And when he said that, then I had another opening to go back to the backers, where I said, look, this was still with Guy Hamilton, by the way. Why don't we try something different and let's go for a big star, but offer him different parts. So we went to Paul Newman and offered him the 3 parts. He was in his 50s and he looked great. But so the part of Superman, okay, would have been perhaps a little bit too old, but still, Luthor, the villain, or Jor-El, the father. And he passed down the 3. Much to his chagrin, because Marlon made $18 million for his part as Jor-El, so Newman was always sad about that story, because he could have taken Jor-El and just done that. And the fact is that that gave me a new idea. Where I went to my father and said, why don't we get 2 big stars for Father of Krypton and the villain? And that's when we started to go the different route. And it was absolutely a saving grace that Brando at the last second, when still Warner's did not want the picture for American distribution. I mean, they had a first call, of course, because it was their right, but they didn't. They were still not interested. The film was already, you know, enormous publicity and a lot of noise, and I was still not getting them excited enough. And then, of course, at the last second, I don't know, it's a crazy story, but we got Brand to play Jor-El and paid him a lot of money, but it made the film immediately just grounded. And then 2 days after, Gene Hackman's agent called and said, you know, Gene would love to be in a movie with Marlon. And that was Gene Hackman after Midnight, not Midnight Cowboy,
French Connection.
French Connection. Yeah, there's something similar in those 2 pictures. I think drugs, but the fact Midnight Express was a film. Of course, with Brando and Hackman, then we could go with unknown. And that's when we started seeing all the known, half known, lesser known, a little bit known actors who fit the physique. And we met Reeve among a lot of them, and both Donner, then Donner was on board, and the fact is that he and I both thought that he was just too skinny, you know, and he was great as Clark, and he definitely had been at Juilliard, which is a very good school in New York for theater and all kind of music and dancing. And he said, wow, he's terrific, but, you know, can he do it? And we still saw more people, and we even tested the dentist of my first ex-wife. That was a weird laugh. I don't know where that came from. I wasn't, no. But anyway, the fact is that the moment we were at that desperate stage, you know, where the dentist who looked like Superman but was not. A great actor, was a very good dentist, but not a good actor. And so finally, that's when the different stories. One is that Lynn Stallmaster was one of the greatest casting directors in America, was constantly putting the picture of Chris Reeve on the bunch of pictures we had. And that's what he said, but I remember that I was looking every night in desperation at the almanac, you know, this big actors almanac, where you have all the actors in well, Hollywood, definitely, in the States and in the English, I think. And I kept stopping on the Reed picture, and what I noticed more is that he had that neck, you know, which Superman in the comic always had this kind of